Now and then, you gotta let one go. You gotta let one flow. I'm talking about tears, and it's alright. And the B in the title, it could stand for boy, bitch, or baby. You decide. Let's go. So now that we cleared that up and created a safe space, let's talk about one of the most emotional movies that will stand the test of time. I don't care. I said what I said. I just don't know why this movie didn't get enough promotion. I mean, big people need love too. This review is spoiler free, so no worries. And I know I'm starting off this review corny as usual, but it's because I'm about to get serious in a minute. Because when you watch this movie, the first scene is super serious. I'm talking about watching it in theaters with my mom. She punching me in the arm saying, "Chris, what the hell you have me watching?" I said, "Shoot, I don't know what the hell's going on. I just know this is Brendan Fraser's comeback role, and he's an obese man trying to reconnect with his daughter. What you want from me?" It's a drama, and with drama comes a lot of baggage, right? And that's what's special about this story, because little by little, we slowly see how Charlie became the man who he's shown to us. You know, big people don't just become big overnight. It takes months, even years, especially if one's been through a traumatic experience. So Charlie, as I mentioned, is the protagonist of the story, and himself and his apartment is shown to us 90% of the film. And you heard that correct. His apartment is pretty much the only location this film decided to shoot from. When I say this is an intimate story, I truly mean that. From his small apartment to his emotional story and to the very tight cast of only 5 actors. That's right, only 5 actors for a screen time of just under 2 hours. I would say you can imagine, but it's probably hard to believe until you see it for yourself. Charlie is connected to all of these people, from his daughter Ellie, to his wife Mary, to this young man Thomas who keeps showing up on his doorstep, and to his support system Liz. Each relationship with these 4 people are different from the next, as they each try to help and understand Charlie, since Charlie is a flawed character and in extreme critical health and only has about a week left to live unless he makes progress with his health. With the limited time we think he has left, he does his best to teach his online class valuable lessons while trying to reconnect a broken relationship with his daughter and rebuild his faith in God and people. There are endless forms of emotions throughout this film, whether it be sadness, sorrow, anger, regret, but surprisingly, with a story like this, there's also a glimpse of happiness and comedy. The script is so tightly written that once you understand the characters, you can easily understand their styles of humor and are able to find some brief joy in the madness. And that's what's so beautiful about this story, because it's so truly authentic to real life situations. Such as sometimes I hear stories where people are critically ill in the hospital, and even though they're dealing with all that pain, they still somehow find a way to crack a joke. But what's so intense about this movie is that although Charlie would crack a joke in the middle of a scene, he'll end up like having a brief heart attack a few seconds later. This has to be up there with one of the most anxious films of all time. Watching some of these scenes gave the audience so much anxiety, because as Charlie was just going throughout his day-to-day motions that we may find normal, it was just so impactful, especially with the very subtle score playing in the background that would slowly creep up. I'm talking about scenes whenever he would have to walk around his apartment, or whenever he binge ate. The camera movement throughout the apartment created such an immersive experience that made you feel like you were actually there in the room with them. And when it came to him binge eating, I just hope people don't make fun of this movie or make fun of the character Charlie, because these are real people who are going through so much stuff. But I have to admit, and some people in the theater as well, I heard them, it wasn't just me. As you're watching this guy binge eat, I said, "God damn, what the, did he just make a chip sandwich? Or is that 2 slices in one hand that he's about to eat?" God damn. So to get an audience reaction like that, we have to give our props to Brendan Fraser's legendary performance for treating this character so carefully and delicately. Before this role, Brendan hasn't been acting for years, and I think he took time off for personal reasons. But in the 90s and early 2000s, he was that guy in Hollywood, way before we ever had an MCU or a superhero takeover. After they showcased this movie for the first time at one of the film festivals, he ended up getting a 5-minute standing ovation, and me personally, I have never heard of that type of ovation before for an actor. Unlike most media where there's way too many characters or actors in one movie, in this movie, The Whale, each character has a true purpose. And since there are mainly 5 actors in this film, I wanted to share my top 5 list while giving my brief thoughts on their performance. At 5, I have Samantha Morton, who plays Mary, which was his wife, and although she makes a small appearance, you could tell she brings a lot of confidence and strength to her character to help us understand what happened in their family. At 4, I have Sadie Sink, and I know some people may be shocked, but if you're a big fan of Stranger Things, then you could probably see how her character in this movie is pretty much the same, but on steroids, since she's dealing with so much anger and resentment towards her father. It's very impressive, don't get me wrong, just a little over the top in a few scenes. At 3, I have Ty Simpkins, because while watching, I didn't realize, but afterwards, Found out he was the child actor from Iron Man 3 and Jurassic World, so to see him now as a young man playing such a dramatic role was impressive. His character was always in a calm and inspiring place, who means well, but also has a past of his own, which was interesting to find out. And at 2, I have Hong Chow, who plays a nurse in this story and does her best to help Charlie maintain his severe health while balancing a very fine line between support and frustration. Her acting in this movie was damn near brilliant and stole every scene with her presence. And at 1 is obvious, but it's Brendan Fraser for all the reasons I previously mentioned. I really hope he continues to make great films here on out because his fans love him and he still has so much potential to tell great stories such as this. So before we wrap this up, I just wanted to reinforce that this movie is not about an actual whale. Yes, the script does focus on the classic novel Moby Dick, so maybe get a refresher on that. Just don't be like my mother and start punching me in the theater, alright? I mean, at first she didn't even care to watch this movie. She really thought it was about an animal. I said, you know what? We're done here. We're done. So in conclusion, this was a story that was very simple, yet so powerful with several meanings and life lessons about family, love, loss, hope, health, regret, recovery, and even faith. This was the most intimate film ever with everything from the small cast, location, and timeline, providing high, anxious, intimidating moments from the visual bodysuit prosthetic realism to the musical score that would creep up during normal daily activities. The ending was also brilliant, leaving the audience for open interpretation of how they perceive the meaning of the moment.
I need to know that she cares about people and other people care about her and she's gonna be okay. I need to know.
So were you one of the few lucky ones to have watched this in theaters? Or did my review help? Do you plan on watching this in the future? If you want to talk spoilers, just message me on Instagram. And if you enjoyed this video, then give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing so you could join the party as we upload reviews every week. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.